Cadillac, along with parent company General Motors, is pushing forward in the EV universe and giving us some real usable family haulers with real usable EV range. So if you want to take this 7-passenger Cadillac Escalade out on a long highway trip and utilize its full 205 kilowatt hour battery pack, what sort of efficiency can you expect here at highway speeds? Tonight we find out. Hey everybody, it's Charlie from Daily Motor, and tonight we've got the real-world highway fuel economy test on the 2026 Cadillac Escalade IQ L. In this test, we're going to head out on the highway and do 50 miles out and 50 miles back, averaging 70 miles per hour to get a realistic fuel economy number for this full-size luxury SUV. But before we get started, let's hop out and take a look at it. Yes, a vehicle that I think is pretty darn cool. The all-electric Escalade IQ L. This one giving you the luxury trimmings of the Cadillac Escalade, as well as the size, capability, and towing, but all-electric. And not only all-electric, but with a 460-mile mixed driving EPA range figure, this is an all-electric vehicle that you should legitimately be able to use for all of your real-world style driving. Unless you're literally driving regularly across country, I don't see why you shouldn't be able to do your real life with the IQ. So if you do want to see more on it, check the link below. We've got our full pros and cons review, and we also have a dedicated review of the 38-speaker AKG studio reference audio system. You can find those linked below. So why do we do this test? Well, the EPA actually doesn't even have a highway figure yet for the Escalade IQ L that we are in here. They do have a mixed driving estimate of, I think it was 59 MPGe, but they don't have a dedicated, they don't actually have an official published result from the EPA yet, and because of that we don't have a highway figure as well. But that test that they do use for measuring efficiency of vehicles, that highway test only averages 48 miles per hour. And we know there are plenty of people who do big miles at real-world highway speeds here and would like to know what sort of numbers you can realistically expect in the real world. Not only that, but you've got a big, giant, not very aerodynamic vehicle like this, so it's going to be more dramatically affected by higher speeds because of that exponential effect of wind resistance here on vehicles, or on everything really. But it's very important to do these sort of tests with larger electric SUVs like this to see what they get, because then you're taking out that slower speed aspect. So in order to test that out, I'm going to charge the vehicle up all the way, and we are going to head out at night when there's less traffic. We're going to do the 100 miles, bring the vehicle back, charge all the way back up again, and then once it's topped off, we'll do some calculations and see what sort of efficiency we're getting. Now, a few other things to note for the test. Outside temperature will probably be in the upper 50s to low 60s tonight here along the coast. Our tire pressures are going to be set to their door placard. Now, they're super, super high pressures. I need to stop and look. I'm going to check them or set them here before we head out tonight, but you all will already be seeing it. But it's something like 75 in the rear and 65 in the front or something like that, because this is a 9,000 pound vehicle. So you need to have really high tire pressures to account for that. So we're going to have those set at their door placard specs, and we're going to run the climate control at 73 degrees auto. So without any further ado, let's get this baby charged up and head out for the test. We are all charged up. It doesn't seem like the range figure is dynamic in this car. It just simply stays at whatever its sort of EPA estimated range is. So we're looking at 460 miles, all charged up to 100% state of charge. Let's get our climate going at 73 auto. Get the GPS reset real quick. Trip, is our trip reset? And we're ready to begin. Now I do have high regen on right now, high one pedal. That's theoretically not the most energy efficient, but I think we'll be okay for getting to the highway at least. Now we do have a few different drive modes in here. We've got Tour, Sport, Snow and Ice, Tow Haul, and My Mode. We're going to do this test in Tour mode. I'm taking it nice and easy over to the highway. It's about 0.7 miles away, and pick up the test from there. Now the goal of this test isn't to hypermile. We're not trying to get the best possible fuel economy for this big vehicle, but rather a realistic figure. So in order to do that, I'm getting up to highway speed here at, well, it was going to be a reasonable pace until this Tesla decided to do not that. But we're going to get up to speed and set our cruise control at a GPS indicated 71 miles per hour. That should allow us to average 70 over the whole test. Now, I am doing this test on a Thursday night, and I do not like doing these tests on Thursday night. There's always more traffic. Ideal is Monday, but typically do them Wednesdays. Mondays and Wednesdays are okay for traffic. Thursday picks up, Friday, no go. But just based on travel this week and everything, we had to do it on Thursday, so I'll just be dealing with a little bit more traffic. Our speedometer looks to be remarkably, I was about to say accurate, and then it looks like we're down one. So it's like 72 on the dash, just giving us 71 on the GPS. Happy with that. And we get to take advantage of one of the best highway active lane keeping functionalities on the market, Super Cruise. Super Cruise works fantastically, and it was my favorite until I used the full self-driving beta from Tesla. That is definitely better. But outside of Tesla, Super Cruise is the best. It's very good, and it's actually the only, including Tesla, I believe, the only semi-autonomous driving functionality you can use while towing. And we did use it with towing with the Suburban over this last summer, and it worked fantastically. So pretty happy with that. Looking forward to using it here for the rest of this test. So I'm going to continue on with the test and catch up with you at the end. I'm going to be testing out this AKG Studio reference audio system. Pretty curious to see how that does here. And in the meantime, enjoy this time lapse of the entire trip. Coming into the end of the highway range test here in the Escalade IQ L. First things first, let's get it out of the way. I am thoroughly impressed with the efficiency that we're seeing here. I guess maybe a little bit less in the outright efficiency. I mean, we know that this is an energy hog, but the fact that it's sticking so close to its EPA mixed driving estimate here at highway speeds. We have done 98.8 miles according to the vehicle. Yeah, that's actually dead on accurate with our GPS too, 98.8. And we've used 22% state of charge. And we are only a few miles, actually 1 mile, below the vehicle's guesstometer, if you will, the amount of range it said we would have. We left the house with 460 miles of estimated range. We now have 360 miles, and we've done 99 miles. That's really, really cool. I mean, for a vehicle that's this large, to still be getting its EPA mixed driving estimate at 71 miles per hour, very nicely done, GM. I respect that. That's pretty darn cool. And we're going to talk about those numbers a little bit more after we get it back to the house and charge it up. However, I hate to say that there have been other big frustrations with the car, and surprisingly, they center around Super Cruise. I don't know what's going on with this system, but I've had multiple instances throughout this drive tonight where it will all of a sudden just randomly out of nowhere drop the the speed that I'm going down 10 miles per hour. I'll be set at 71 and all of a sudden the car will start slowing down and it's set at 61. Or a few times it jumped up to 75 miles per hour randomly. This is cruise control we're talking about here. We're not even talking about super cruise. Yeah, it's a little bit frustrating when you're going down the highway and all of a sudden it flashes and says take control because the super cruise is giving up. That's disappointing, but it's not deal breaking. But when you're talking about adaptive cruise control and really just the normal cruise control itself, the speed that I have the vehicle set at not maintaining and randomly changing, it's bad. So I'll show you some clips here. The music is going to be kind of loud, and actually I'm probably just going to turn the music off because it's copyrighted music. It's because I was recording the members only sound test. But you can see visually all of a sudden the speed just drops for no reason. Why? Why are you slowing down? There's nothing there. Why? Look at this. The car is going 60. Oh, did I? How did I turn the speed down? Did you guys see that? What did I do that set the cruise control at 61 all of a sudden? I did it again. It just dropped 10 miles per hour. So I haven't edited this video yet, obviously. I'm still shooting it here live, but I think that happened like 5 times. I'll have to go through my footage. So very, very frustrating there. Other than that, though, this is a fine place to be. It's quiet in here. Suspension's good. It's a Cadillac Escalade, for gosh sakes. It feels like it. But yeah, just disappointing with Super Cruise there. Also a little disappointed in the AKG sound system. I remember the previous Cadillac Escalade we tested being significantly better than this. This is strong, but another weird error here, if you will. We're supposed to have a sound setting adjustment here for surround sound and sound modes, and it's gone. I'm gonna have to do a key cycle or something like that, but it's been gone, and it was gone for both of our inputs. So weird, frustrating glitches there from the software, but from a hardware standpoint and efficiency, very impressive. So I'm gonna get this back to the house, charge it all the way up, and crunch our final numbers with you in the mañana. We got the Escalade IQ L all charged back up here the next morning. Even charging at 16 amps on my level 2 charger at the house here, it took, I think it was about 14 hours to charge all the way back up. And it took a total from the charger of, 52 kilowatt hours, all right? Yep, 52 kilowatt hours. But we assume a 90% charging efficiency for level 2, so 52 times 0.9, 40, we're gonna go 47 kilowatt hours we're gonna assume actually went back into the battery to propel the vehicle down the road. And that does line up pretty well with what we saw last night, because when we got in, we had 77% state of charge back at the house here. Again, 360 miles remaining, even though we traveled 101 miles. We actually did marginally better even on a full charge. Really, really remarkable there. It says we got 2.1 miles per kilowatt hour according to the vehicle's readout. And I like having this energy info screen as well. It showed us that over the trip, 90% of our power was used by the drive motor and 4% was used by the HVAC. And so if we add up 1.7, 46.4, we're looking at 48.1 kilowatt hours. So pretty darn close with what we calculated, 47. The car said it used 48. Charger, we're assuming with some rough math, 47. So somewhere right around there. Let's actually go with what the car said it used. So we're going to assume that's pretty accurate. So we'll say 48 kilowatt hours were used for that trip. The GPS, as you can see, says we did 100.5, which is also exactly what the car said we did. So 101.5 divided by that 48 kilowatt hour is giving you, okay, well, what do you know? The car was dead on, 2.11 miles per kilowatt hour here from the Cadillac Escalade IQ L. Now we have a 205 kilowatt hour battery pack in here, so 205 times that 2.11, it's giving you a little bit lower than the vehicle's estimate, but still a very strong 430 miles of estimated highway range here from the Escalade. And the vehicle did still track down that we would make 360 miles. Like the mileage reader itself was reading pretty accurate there. But I do wonder if there's a little bit of a buffer at the very, very top, because it took a few miles before it dropped down from the first 460. And if we kind of extrapolate with the percentage that we were at, if we do, okay, how would the best way to do that be? We took 23%, 100.1.5 divided by 23% means we did about 4.4 miles per percentage times 100% state of charge. Yeah, 440 miles. So 430 miles is kind of what we're estimating based off the battery size and based off the efficiency numbers we saw. Still very, very good. Still very, very usable for the real world here. The thing is, most people are not going to be just themselves in a giant Escalade IQ L and going out and running the battery from 100% all the way down to 0. What's more meaningful is the fact that that means you can fill this car up with some people and some things. Yeah, your efficiency is going to be a little bit lower, so say it's at 400 miles then. But then you're not going to go from 100 to 0. You might go from 90 down to 10. Or sorry, maybe even 100 down to 10. So if we are at, that would be 430 miles times 0.9, that means you're doing about 387 miles of estimated driving range if you're only bringing it down to about 10%. And say maybe the charger is at a certain location, especially the one you want to go to, and you're only going to be at about 18% state of charge when you get there. So let's say that would be 82%, so 430 times 0.82, 350 miles. That means I could comfortably, oh wait, and we're going to go off of 400. So 400 times, let's just say 0.8. So that means I could leave my house with a full state of charge, some people in the car, some suitcases, whatever, go out, drive 70 miles per hour, and go 320 miles and make it to a charging station with about 20% state of charge, charge that thing all the way up to about 80%, 80 or 90%, and then continue on my way and still do another few hundred miles. So you can see how something like a 500 or 600 mile road trip would be very, very easily done in this vehicle. And maybe people aren't doing all that much of that with an Escalade, but once this trickles down to something like a Suburban, Tahoe, Yukon, it's going to be a game changer. Absolutely. So thank you all so much for watching. Hopefully that wasn't a little bit of overload there with the math. Aside from some frustrations with the electronics in this car, I do really like and appreciate a lot of the things GM has going on with this. I love this kind of big battery setup they're going with. It means you can tow, it means you can haul, it means you can do real life here with the Escalade in this 205 kilowatt hour battery format. So thank you all for watching. Be sure to check out our other videos on the Escalade IQ L, and we'll see you on the next one. I'm Charlie from Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.